Today, this truck goes from stock to rock. We give the Silverado some attitude with a lift kit and some mean-looking bumpers.
Man, this thing's really coming together quick.
It really is. It's a nice kit. Hey, welcome to TruckU. I'm Matt Steele.
Hi, I'm Bruno Massel.
Now, you caught us about halfway through, maybe a little bit more than halfway through. Today, we're working on this 2008 Chevy Silverado, and we're putting in this 6-inch suspension lift kit from Rough Country. This is a nice kit. We really like the way it's going together, and when it's all done, this truck is going to look fantastic.
Now, one of the things we really like about it is the fact that it's bolts in for the most part. I mean, obviously we had to take everything from the lower control arm down, off, and out of the way. One minor modification we had to do was this mounting bracket went into place here, like this. And what it did is it held this differential. So with the lift kit in place, we need to bring the differential down, so we cut it off, and then we had to do some modifying to this case here. Now, we didn't dig into the differential itself. We just cut off these cooling fins here to make sure that everything fit nicely.
There was one more bracket that we had to cut off, and that was this bracket. It was up at the front side of this differential, kind of up in there like that. So we got that up and out of the way. That way we could drop the differential down where it needed to be for the suspension kit. Now, at this point, we're ready to start putting the puzzle back together. It all started right here with this rear cross member. We got that into place. Then you kind of work your way forward, and you see what's going on back in here. There was another drop bracket kind of up in here that kind of mounted the differential up on the top side. Then you've got this front cross member right here, and it's all held together with this big skid plate. So you kind of put all this back together at one time, and once it's all done, and once everything's bolted back together, this is going to be a nice, good, strong unit right there.
Yeah, not only does it look good, but it's a precision unit because it's all laser cut. This way, everything lines up and all the bolt holes work, which is nice. Now,
yes.
Another neat piece of this whole kit is this front knuckle. Now, it's made of one-piece cast steel, and the deal is it's going to push our wheels down 6 inches. Now, this is the old one. You can see the mounting points are lined up pretty much even to give you a point of reference. Now, what we're doing is pushing everything down 6 inches. Oh, I'll show you from here to here. You can see right there we're 6 inches down. By doing that, it picks the truck up 6 inches. So that's where our lift comes into play.
Yeah, they're all CNC machines, so they're nice and precise, and these are another nice piece too. But before we get these back on, we need to get that lower control arm in place.
Yeah, you're right. One thing nice about this whole suspension kit is not only is the truck going to look a lot better because it'll sit at a better stance, but it's going to give us the proper clearance we want to put these big 35-inch tires on it.
Absolutely. Now we'll get that in there, slide that up. Let me get this started. That way it doesn't fall on us and we don't get any little surprises. All right, that's good.
Got it?
Yep,
Okay.
that's not going anywhere.
Now, one thing you'll notice, we went ahead and put on our hub assembly onto the steering knuckle. Now, keep in mind that you want to have the proper orientation because if you don't, well, at the end of it, you're going to have to take it all apart and put it on the correct way. What we want is the ABS to be up on top, our adapter there, and our dust shield to be the front so our brake assembly can get on the back.
Now, when you're tightening down this whole knuckle assembly, basically on the top and the bottom, you've got 2 ball joints. Now, if you're lucky, they'll seat themselves and everything will be fine and you can tighten them right up. But if that's not the case, you might have to just apply a little bit of pressure right there. That's just going to make life a little bit easier. And that way you can just zip it up and it won't spin out of control on you.
All right, I got it, man.
Right?
You got that?
That's fine.
All right, cool.
Now, also, on this side, we dropped the differential down a little bit, then we dropped the whole knuckle assembly down a little bit. So there was a little difference in the distance from here to there. Now the kit comes with the spacer right there that's going to make up for that gap in distance. So that's another nice thing about the kit.
What we want to do, though, is get it out of the way for the time being because we're going to need a little extra clearance to go ahead and get our axle into place. So we'll put it in first, and then we can put that adapter back in.
Right.
You got that?
Yeah.
And one thing to keep in mind, a little tip for you guys, anytime you're using stuff with suspension, you want to stay nice and tight. So put a little thread lock around the bolts and make sure you tighten it down to the appropriate spec because last thing you want is suspension coming apart. That can get ugly quick.
Words to live by.
Okay, so what we're doing is putting the torsion bar back into place. Now, most people don't realize that on most of your IFS four-wheel drive trucks, you don't run a front spring. Instead, you run a torsion bar. The way this works is you use a key like this, put it on the back side of it, and what you're doing is putting a twist into the torsion bar, and that's going to give us your spring. So by this little adjustment here, it's got a set screw, it's going to push up on it, put a twist on or a preload, and that's where you're going to get your spring effect from. Now what we're trying to do though is compensate for our lift kit with these little brackets.
Exactly. What we're trying to do is maintain the factory geometry and the factory ride. That way it's going to be nice and comfortable going down the road when we're sitting on the bigger tires. Now we've already dropped the whole front down a couple inches, so we need to drop everything back down a couple inches back here as well. Now when we started tearing everything out of here and taking things apart, we were very careful to mark a couple things. Most notably right here, we wanted to mark this where these torsion bars went in. We marked that with some white grease pen right there. We also marked it on the back because there's a slot or a groove right back here, which we marked. That way when this all goes back together, we know where to set this. So we know that everything's going to go back where it needs to go.
Yep.
It always makes life a lot easier if you use the right tool for the job. Now this is your torsion bar tool, and it's specifically designed for this particular job. So we run this up here. There's a little groove up on top that we can get that top nub into. That way it's not going to roll around on us. And then this will actually get up into the little nub on the bottom side of the key. Now as we're turning this, we're rolling the key upwards, and we want to keep it moving and keep it moving. We're going to have to, use a lot more power than just my hand on it here in just a second, but we'll turn that key up to where we want it. Once we get the key where we want it, we take this little piece, and this will slide in right there into that opening. And that'll hold the key in place, and then when it's all done, we'll slide this bolt up in there, and that'll hold everything together. Now, there's a lot of pressure and a lot of tension in here, so it's always a good idea. Keep your fingers out of that hole, because if something does break loose, it's no match, or your finger's no match for that key when it comes slamming down. And speaking of things going wrong, I mean, that's a pretty good little C-clamp right there.
Wow.
It's not a cheapy one, and that's exactly what can go wrong.
Now, if you peel back to the back of the truck, you can see that things get a lot easier back here. All we have to do is put in this 4-inch lift block underneath this leaf spring. Now, keep in mind, these Chevy trucks come with a bit of a rake to them where the back's 2 inches higher than the front. That's how they come from the factory. So 4 inches in the back will even out this truck with 6 inches up in the front. It's really that easy. We're about done with our rough country lift kit. You can see that we've got a couple loose ends we need to tighten up. We'll take a break and get all that stuff tightened down nice and good. When we come back, we've got a lot more work to do in this Silverado.
Welcome back to TruckU. Now the Silverado's sitting 6 inches taller on the rough country lift. We've got the larger rims and tires on there, and it's really looking good. But we have got some more stuff to put on to make it look better and be more functional as well. And it all starts right here with this Magnum winch bumper from the guys at ICI.
Now this is like your big Mac daddy of all bumpers, because not only is this thing functional, but it's stylish. I mean, check this thing out. It's made of 3/16 and 1/4-inch carbon steel, so you know it's going to be able to take a beating and deliver one. What I like about it, it doesn't look like it was made in someone's backyard. It's not all chopped and channeled with diamond plate and welds everywhere. It's got nice lines to it, and the way they achieve that is what they call, well, ICI calls it steel origami. It's pretty much made from one sheet of steel that's cut in certain spots and folded to get these nice lines to it. So for me, it's all about style as well as function.
Absolutely. Now it also comes with these top-of-the-line Hella lights. We've already installed these two over here on this side. They come with it. You just have to install them, so it's no big deal. Bruno's going to take care of those. But in the meantime, let's take a look at some of the other options that we've got with this Magnum bumper. Now, you can put the winch right back in there, and this bumper is built to withstand a 16,000-pound winch. That's a lot of, a lot of torque. You can pull a lot of people out. You get yourself out of some bad situations. But you've got options with that as well. You can mount the winch back in there full time, or you can mount this little receiver plate right in there. It's all slotted, so it bolts right in. Now you've got a hitch up there in the front of your truck as well, which you can use. So let's say you've got this optional cradle, which is also a deal that you can do. You can put the winch inside that. Maybe you want to use the winch on the front of your vehicle. Sometimes you want to use it in the back of the vehicle. You want some versatility. Well, you're able to do that. You put the winch in the cradle will slide right in there, and you can take it in and out and basically do whatever you need to do with it.
Right, it's nice to have that option. Now for us, we're going to have it hard mounted because it's going to be staying up front, and believe me, it will never leave. I got to be close, right there.
You are close. Yeah, a little bit more and money right there. All right. Okay.
Now, one thing you want to keep in mind is, like we did, you tape off the front of the truck on the grill and around these lights, and also keep the padding on the sides, because Matt might get a little frisky, and you might too at home, and with a big bumper like this, you don't want to tear up your grill.
No, absolutely not. Now, keep it. What? You good?
Yeah, I'm right about there.
Okay, now keep in mind, this is a no-drill installation. Now there are some brackets that you've got to put in, the 2 mounting brackets, but those go in nice and easy. And there's a couple other cool things about this bumper too, and we're looking at it. It's got like a forced air induction system right here and on the bottom as well. So you might think big bumper pushing all the air out of the way. That's not the case, because as you're traveling down the road, it's all traveling in here and it's getting angled around and swirling up around the intercoolers and the radiators and the tranny coolers and all that. So you don't have to worry about it pushing all the cool air out of the way.
Now, one thing we haven't talked about is the powder coating on this thing. It's a 2-stage process that ICI does, and the reason why is this thing's for function. They know it's going to go taking down gravel roads and kind of off the beaten path, so to speak, and stones and stuff will come up and tear off all this powder coat if it was a single coat finish. Now, what they do, it's a primer for the first coat, then the color black on top of it. Now, if you want to get it to color match your vehicle, it's simple. You can order from them just with the primer on it.
Now take a look at this. Another cool thing about the bumper is these steps right here. They've got one on each side, so now as the truck is actually sitting a little bit higher, it'll be nice for you to have a place to put your foot so you can step on there and lean in and work on this. So let's get this front part bolted up, then we can work on the rear.
I don't drive my vehicle for long periods of time. How can I protect my engine from rust? We'll have the answer after the break. I don't drive my vehicle for long periods of time. How can I protect my engine from rust? Vehicles not in use for extended time periods are exposed to humid air. This creates condensation, which turns your metal into rust. Z-Max's micro-lubrication puts a film of oil on the surface, protecting it from humid conditions while your vehicle is not in use. Use Z-Max in your engine oil and fuel system. Z-Max is always protecting, whether on the road or in the garage. This tip is brought to you by Z-Max. Performance you can feel.
Welcome back to TruckU. Another cool product that we got today from ICI is the U-Cut. It's a custom flexible chrome accessory kit, and it allows you guys to do this at your home, and it's really a lot more forgiving. This product has really evolved over the last couple of years, there's no doubt.
Yeah, initially ICI developed this product line for your professional detail shops, your striping places, but now it's become so simple and so user-friendly that just about anybody can do it at home, with just some simple tools like some scissors, tape measure, tape, and good old Sharpie. You can do this yourself.
This is our pattern material, and you get some of these in the kit right there. So what you do is basically you just sit this up on your vehicle and line it up where you want it. So we're gonna go down to the end of this trim piece right here, and we've already got one cut out, but I'm just showing you how easy it is. So what we would do is trace our line right down here. We'd pull this off, and we'd make the cut right there. Basically, this is the piece that we would have at that point. Then we can lay that on top of the chrome piece, trace that out on the pattern, make the cut on there, and then basically you end up with this piece, which is what's going to go on the truck right there.
Now, one thing I did is go ahead and hit this with a little bit of sandpaper on the edge, which comes with it, so this way you're not going to have any burrs sticking up. Now, underneath this protective layer on top here is where all of the new technology has come into play. They've got a UV protectant, and they've also got a scratch resistance, so when you peel this back and you see that nice bright shine from chrome, it'll stay looking like that for a long period of time.
Okay, now it's really, really important that you get that surface good and clean. We hit it with a degreaser a little bit earlier. Then I just hit it with some rubbing alcohol, some isopropyl rubbing alcohol, got it nice and clean, everything's out of there, and we're ready to put this on. Okay, now.
One other thing I want to point out is the fact that we labeled all these. This is the last one to go in place, so it's not confusing. You know, we've got it to top, passenger side, and number 1, so this way you make sure you put them all back in the right place. A little tip for you guys at home.
Now, when you're doing this adhesive, you go onto the back, on the top, and roll it down about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches or so, and just kind of fold it over. And then we'll stick it on there and make sure everything lines up where we want it. So let me go down here to the end, B.
Okay.
All right, I'm where I want to be there.
I think we're good here.
All right, now we can stick that on. Now, where the whole evolution process has brought us here and made our life so much easier, it's with the pressure-sensitive adhesive that's on there. It's from 3M. It's a great product, and it really has revolutionized it, like I said, because back in the old days, if you stuck this on once and you didn't like where it was, that was it. You were done, and that was where it was staying. Well, now it actually gives you a little bit of freedom. So if we back up and we look at that and we say, that's a little bit off, we can actually pull it off of there and stick it back on there, and we can get away with doing that a couple of times if we have to. But this actually doesn't look half bad.
I think we're actually pretty good right there.
Okay.
You good? You want ready to peel back?
Let's peel the breast of it off here.
All right. Back down.
Yeah, I got it. All right.
Kind of smooth it out from the center down and out to the outside edges.
Now we'll just kind of stick it on there. You know, we're not leaning into it yet. We'll just get it on there nice and good. We want to double check that.
I think that looks pretty good, Matt.
Now, you think that looks good? Now we can take off this protective coating that you were talking about. If I can get, you got a better fingernail than me?
I don't know.
Here we go.
There we go.
There we go. Look at that.
You get the manicures. Aha, there we go.
Now that is what we wanted to see. And that is how it's going to look, man.
Looks good.
It was just that easy.
We've got one last step of chrome to add to this chuck from the folks at ICI, and it's that nice looking wheel-to-wheel Nerf bar, man. It looks really good.
This is a big 4-inch tube that goes all the way down, like you said. It's polished stainless. This is a beautiful piece.
Hey, and you know what? They didn't cheese it on the back. They didn't put some plastic cap in the end. They've got a nice piece of stainless here to make it keep looking good and keep all the kind of dirt and debris from getting inside of it.
Right. Now, you mentioned this is wheel-to-wheel, so what's good about this is once we get this up in place, you're going to have access from the front door, the back door, the very back of the truck there. You can get into the toolbox or the bed of the truck. So not only is this going to look good, but you're going to get a ton of use out of it as well.
Just like the front and rear bumper, it's nice and easy to install, no cutting, it simply bolts into place. And you know what I like? This no crush design of the tube here keeps it looking nice, even line all the way across. What they did instead is they put the molded step in, so you give it a nice firm foot plant to go step onto. So it looks really good, man.
You've got the Nerf bars, you've got the U-cut, and the front and rear bumpers right there, all from ICI. And what a great facelift it was for this particular truck, no doubt.
I really like how I got this one on here nice and straight.
You did a great job on that piece. Welcome back to TruckU. If you go to any motorsporting event anywhere around the country, you're probably going to see a Yamaha Rhino or a side-by-side or something like that. And really, the options are endless when it comes to accessorizing them. Now, thanks to our buddies over at Rhino Parts and Performance. I mean, take a look at this. This is a nice piece. You got a gauge cluster, switch panel, and drink holders all in one piece.
Yeah, you know, inside your Rhinos, there's not a whole lot of room for stuff. So to put everything in one is a nice, tight little package. It looks professionally done. Comes with a complete wiring harness, so it makes it idiot-proof. And trust me, at the races, I've seen some of these people driving it. It needs to be idiot-proof. But it's great because you've got your switch panels built in, so now you can operate all your accessories from your lights to your fog lights to your stereo, all that stuff, and monitor the performance of your vehicle. Hey, the drink holder, you can't beat that.
No, the drink holders are a nice touch. You've got 12-volt power right there. It's a really nice piece. And if you get one of these right now, they've got free shipping to the lower 48 states.
You know, a great way to improve the appearance of an older looking vehicle is to get rid of those pitted, scratched, dented up looking side mirrors. You know, with the fake chrome that's all peeled off? Rather than going down to a local parts store and getting one that's got that universal fit that never really fits right, go to LMC Truck. They've got one made specifically for your vehicle. It comes with all the hardware. They're easy to install, and they look like they were made for your vehicle.
Now think about it like this. If you're walking around with your elbows out all the time, they're going to bang into things and get beat up, right? Well, that's what's going to happen to your mirrors. It's an easy problem to fix, though, because LMC Truck has them for Fords, Chevys, Dodges, all that. Now, you go to the catalog, which are free, and you look in there, you find the part that you need, or you go onto their website, find the part that you need, and you tell them, hey, ship it right to me. It arrives at your door. It doesn't get any easier than it does with LMC Truck. Say hello to my little friend. Hey, listen, if you've got a vehicle or any kind of toy that has a battery in it, you need to get one of these. It's the Battery Tender Plus from Deltran.
Now, most people don't realize that the battery tender is actually a charger. It'll charge your battery up to 100% first and then maintain it. So, you know what? It's also going to charge as fast as any 3-amp charger on the marketplace.
It's easy to use. It's maintenance-free. It's spark-proof. It has reverse polarity protection. Basically, you just hook it up to the battery, it charges it, then it maintains it, and it's one less thing you've got to worry about.
Now, I like the fact that this thing is nice and small in size. It's compact, weighs 2.7 pounds, and you know what? Comes with a 10-year warranty.
It's the Battery Tender Plus from Deltran. If you check out our website, you'll see an Ask the Host section, and that's your opportunity to write into us with any questions that you might have. Now, this week's question comes from Kirk. He says, hey guys, I want to change out my O2 sensor, but I want to make sure I do it the right way, and I don't have a lot of tools. What do you recommend?
Well, first things first, there's always the right tool for the right project, and believe it or not, especially today, you can find all these tools. You can find them online, go to your parts store. There is a proper tool for your O2 sensor. Even though you're going to take the old one out, you're not really concerned about it. When you're putting the new one in, you want to make sure you have the right one. So there's a deep socket like this, and the key thing is it's got this slot all the way up the back side of it, so you don't rip out the cord for it. Once you rip out the electronics of it, that new O sensor is going to be junk. You'll want to replace it. So make sure you get the right tool to use.
Yeah, and that may cost you a couple of bucks, but if you're going to do it more than once, it's going to be a good tool to have. So it's all about using the right tools for the job. Hey, if you have any questions, log on to our website and check out the Ask the Host section, and we might ask yours on the air.
For more information on anything you've seen on today's show, check out speedtv.com or visit our website at truckutv.com.
Today's restoration challenge is this hood right here. Now this is off of a GMC Envoy, and we're going to spice it up quite a bit. We're going to use the Duplicolor Paint Shop Candy Coat system and paint this candy apple red. I know what you're thinking. There's not a lot of candy apple red GMC Envoys running around. This one's going to be very unique and very special when it's all done, and we're going to take care of the hood today. Now, this Candy Coat system is a 4-step system. Step number 1 is to get it primed. That's handled, that's done, and all taken care of. Then step number 2, you've got this highly metallic silver coating that's going to go on right here. That's going to bring some depth to it. Then you put on the translucent color. That's the candy apple red part. You put on the red, it's translucent so you can see through down there to the metallic silver. Then you have some more depth going on. Then you finish it off right there with the clear up on the top, and that gives it all the shine. Then once that's all done and it's nice and bright and candy apple red, you're ready to turn some heads. One of the great things about this paint shop system is the fact that it doesn't require any further mixing or reducing. You can literally pour it from the can to the gun and you are ready to go. Now, we applied our metallic base coating on top of the primer. Once we were done with that, we could apply our red coloring. Keep in mind when you're putting the color on, you want to go with multiple thin coats. That's going to keep it nice and uniform looking all the way through. Now let's say there is a blemish in the paint. Another good thing about the system is there's no recoat window, so you can come back and fix that problem anytime. So the last thing we did was we put on multiple clear coats. That's what we're going to wet sand down. Then we can buff it out to the desired finish and shine that we want, and it looks fantastic already. Remember, it's a simple 4-step process. You put your primer on there, then you've got your metallic base coat, then you apply several thin layers of color, light layers like that, then your clear coat, and you are done and ready to go, and that is how we handled it. This job is done. If you'd like any more information or you have some questions about your restoration challenges, be sure to check out Duplicolor's website.